Hey everyone, welcome back to Bear's Workshop. In today's video, we are going to try and recreate something that was made by another YouTuber. A guy, the name of John Builds It is the name of his channel, and I'll put a link right here or here. And he made an American flag with burnt wood. Looks beautiful. There's a lot of videos out there, but what I'm going to try and do is just follow his instructions and make this flag from what he has created. I think I can do it and make it look pretty good. I know I'm gonna have a little trouble with the stars, but we're gonna just try and recreate what he's done. So I've gotten everything that I need. I bought all the parts that he recommended. I had some of the tools myself, and some of them I have similar things. See, he has a Dremel 4000. I've got a Dremel not 4000. So let's take a look and let's follow his instructions and let's build this thing. Hey guys, towards the end of the video, I need you to just pay attention. I'm going to go over some of the problems that I ran into and some of the tips or tricks that I might have come up with that may not have been mentioned in other videos. These are hints and tips for first timers doing this, because I'm just going to go over, I had this problem, this is how I resolved it. That way maybe you won't have that problem. So the first step is to cut your pieces down to 37 inches. Originally, one of the things that John Build It says to do, or that you can do, is you can either use a 1x4 or 1x6, 1x10s, and use a table saw. We didn't have a table saw when we were starting with this, and his other suggestion was to just get 1x2s. We tried the 1x2s that we got at Home Depot, and they did not work out. When we put them all together, we started cutting them. No matter how straight of a board I thought I had, once we laid them out like this, they looked like this. I'm going to show you this picture right now. And you can see in the picture that there was huge gaps. There was nothing we could do about that, so it became clear to me that unless you can get some super good wood, you're going to need a table saw to do this. So we went out and we bought 1x6s, and we're cutting these on the table saw. I didn't have a table saw, believe it or not, I didn't have one. So we went out, we did this table saw, and we did a review on this. This is a Delta construction table saw that we got at Lowe's, and you could click on this link right here and you can watch the review of the table saw. Table saw was $600, in case you're wondering. But go ahead, take a look at that review if you'd like. From here, we cut these pieces down to 37 inches on these boards right here. We used the rigid saw, the chop saw over here, cut them down to 37, and then we've got a quick video, time-lapse video of cutting these pieces into shape. So let's take a look at that. Next step is I want to get the beveled edge off of this. So we're going to measure this out on the original size. So this is the width that we want. I'm going to give it a little bit of space. Okay, so we're going to send this through here, and this will take off the beveled edge right here. Okay, so the next step really is to sand. Actually, it's not the next step. The next step would be to burn, but I didn't follow John's instructions properly. So normally before you cut them from 1x4s down to 1x2s, you'd sand them. It's just easy to sand if they're before you cut them, just because it's easier to manage pieces while you're sanding if they're larger. So we're going to sand them now. I should have done this before I ripped them, but I was all excited to get the table saw that I just started ripping them. So we're going to sand them right now, and the next step will be to burn. So we just finished sanding. We did notice a couple boards had some chips and things like that, so I took them out. I also flipped over some of the boards to use the other side, which gave us the rough cut side, but we're going to use those because we're going to alternate them in just to get a different look. I've never burned before. We're going to be using the Dremel butane burner that John recommended. I bought this, it's brand new. Haven't used it to burn anything yet. Since I've never burned before, I'm using a spare piece, and I'm just gonna kind of practice, and then we'll burn all the boards out and see how they look. So this is my first attempt. Let's hope I don't catch on fire, because you know I can. Okay, we've got our boards burned. The burn didn't go the smoothest. I practiced, but I'm not an expert burner. So this is what we got, and I'm going to go with it. And we've got our stencil now, so we're going to put this down on our 7 boards up top. We're going to clamp them together first, put everything nice and tight. We're going to mark our edge right here, and then we're going to take the razor blades, like John said to do it, and we're going to hammer them in. And then we're going to be ready to stain this. So that's the next step on this, is clamping this together, mark the edge of the stencil for the razor blade. So that's what we're doing. Okay, so we're all set up now to put on our tint. We've got the navy blue tint. This is minwax wood stain, and then we've got the crimson red, also minwax wood stain. I could not find this at Home Depot. I had to go to Sherwin-Williams and have them make it for me. They just did not have it whatsoever. So next up, we're going to do all the blue at once. We're going to do just go through, do the blue side, and then we're going to go do the red, every other one, skipping. So a few minutes have gone by, and now we're just going to gently wipe any excess that we have off here. You're getting a little bit off. Don't worry about my table. I'm going to clean that later. I didn't really have anything else to put down, so I figured I'll just clean it off with some paint thinner later. Alright, we're going to let this set up for 15-20 minutes and let it dry up. We're going to go get some water and come back, and then we're going to start putting this together. Okay, so here's where we're at. We've got the stain done. We're about to flip this over. We've got our support boards that are going to go in the back. We have 4 of them. They're just cut just a little bit shorter. We're going to flip this over, and then we are going to glue it with the Tight Bond wood glue, and we are going to use a brad nailer, and we are going to nail this in. I believe it's 1 1/8. They're pretty short brad nails because you don't want to go through both pieces of wood. So that's what we're doing next. Big reveal. The next step was to stencil out all the stars with some sort of marker. John in his video had some sort of pen that would make nice straight lines. I'm not really good at that, which is really scary because I'm not going to be good at making these stars nice and crisp, but we'll see what happens. So what I've decided to do is I'm going to take a can of white spray paint and I'm just going to put a light layer of paint down on this. I've got everything covered and I'm going to hold this down and I'm just going to put a little bit of shading just so that that way I can I use that as my stencil instead of me trying to make lines because I'm not good at it. So let's see how this works out. Hopefully this doesn't fail. Let's peel this off and see what it looks like. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad because I honestly I don't know if this was a good idea or not. Not great. I think we can fix this up. I can use this as the template. I got a little bit of spray underneath, a couple of them, but I think we can work with it. Might make things a little bit more difficult, but I think we can work with this. But what I am going to do before I start carving anything into this is I've never carved with my Dremel and I don't have a steady hand. So we're going to practice. We're going to take a strip of wood, we're going to put some stars on that, and we're going to see which one of the methods that John showed, because John showed using the flex piece, he used the router looking thing, and a couple of the different ways to carve this. So I'm going to try them all out on a practice piece, and I'm going to do that before we start carving on this. Okay, so this is the result of my practice. It's not that great, but I got a little bit familiar with the carving tools. I'm going to go with the flex shaft. I've got a blower on it, and I think the 107 or the 10 something. I'm using the smallest one right now. I'm not sure which one I have left because while I was doing this, when I was changing out the carving bits, one of them flew off and I don't know where it went. So I'm not sure which one I lost because they're not labeled. But my goal is to go slow. This is my best star. This is one I did a full carving at, and this one is probably rated at, I give that a 2 out of a 10. So I'm going to go slow. I'm going to make the straight lines first across like John was showing. I'm going to get myself into a comfortable position. I've got the blower to blow the dust out. I've got eye protection. I've got a little headgear thing. I'm not excited about 50 stars. This is a new day, so I'm starting off fresh. 50 stars is a lot of stars. I'm kind of wishing at this point maybe we never went past 13 colonies because it would be a whole lot easier. Or maybe if before I finish this, some of the states might secede from the Union, and then I'd have less stars to do. But right now we've got 50. So I'm off to the races. Here we go. Okay, my 50 stars are done. I'm gonna rank myself probably like a 1.5 out of 10 on these stars. They really are not that good. I need a lot more practice. I'm certainly not going to be able to sell something like this. Not that I'm trying to, but the stars are definitely the most difficult part of this. So I'm not exactly pleased. I saw other people on the internet make their stars. I was like, oh, those stars suck, man. He should have been more careful. And then like I did it, and my stars suck too, and they suck more than the one I was complaining about. So next step is we're gonna probably torch. We're gonna torch the stars. Maybe do a little bit more torching on here. We got some light spots, and then we're gonna put on a clear coat. So follow along. Okay guys, this is our finished product. We've put on 3 coats of clear coat. Everything is done. The only thing we really haven't done, we didn't do the back. I haven't put the little wire on the back to hang it by, because I'm probably going to hang it in a different method, so I didn't put that on. So a couple of tips for the first time we're doing this. I know we talked about this already, good boards, but good boards is essential. A planer might have helped also, because even though we were able to get the line straight on the boards, we still had a little bit of curve. So maybe a planer would have helped to flatten everything out, and that might have been a good idea, though I don't have a planer and that's just more expense. But good boards is going to be the top tip I'm going to tell you. Another thing, John had shown how you put the razor blades here. I put them in here and I didn't really make sure that they were square, and you got to make sure that they're square, because if they're not, you're going to have a little bit of angle. I think you can see that if you look closely. The blue line just goes like that. So I was careless. So make sure your razor blade is straight. Keep in mind that when you paint the blue on here, you're going to be carving out. So if you put too much on there, it's going to bleed deep into the wood, and you're just going to have to carve out some more. Speaking of carving, if you've never carved before with a Dremel, practice, 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 and hopefully you'll do better than my 1.5s. Don't look too closely at these. I'm not exactly proud of them. It's not my best work. It's just close to my worst. But I'm going to practice, and I'm going to find a way to get these put on better. I don't think the spray painting them on was the greatest way to do it, but I just could not seem to get the lines that John did when he was boom, boom, boom. He was just zipping through that. I know it was fast motion, but he really seemed to have the knack for it, and I just couldn't get the marks on there that I wanted to. Maybe it was my bit that I had on my Dremel. I don't know. Another thing is just watch the heat on the Dremel. The Dremel was heating up a lot, not because it's well, it was just heating up because I'm using it a lot. Each star, you're on it for like at least a minute, and the thing heats up. And so I was doing like 15 stars at a time, and I was letting it cool off for like 15 minutes before I go again, because you don't want to burn out your Dremel. I don't know if having a Dremel on for 50 minutes straight is a good thing. I can imagine that you could break something. So that's pretty much it. You guys tell me what you think. You think this was okay for a first attempt? Let me know. We're thinking maybe make a giant one, using 8-foot boards and putting it out front. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, but let me know if you think that's a good idea, or if you'd like to see something like that. At 6 feet, add another 2 feet, it'd be pretty big. And then just put some 4x4 posts, stick them out in my front yard. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think. If you like this video, hit the like button. If you didn't like it, go ahead and still hit the like button. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you can see some more content in the future. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.